Well, Mr. Saroyan, I'm very, very happy to meet you. I have known you for very many years. I have translated some of your works, and now I know you personally. I understand you are in Romania as a tourist.
Well, the fact is that I have always wanted to visit Romania, and somehow it got postponed until this moment. But this has been a very, very pleasant visit, and let me thank you also for translating my plays, The Time of Your Life and The Cave Dwellers.
Thank you. Tell me, why were you interested in visiting Romania? How was this interest? How did this interest come about?
First,
it is a far-away country from the United States, and
well, of course, nothing is far any longer because of the speed of air travel. Every place is a neighbor.
Yes.
But the point is that this is a Black Sea country, and my own people are Black Sea people, the Armenian people. And we did know in America Peter Niagwe, who was my friend, the writer.
Peter Niagwe, yes.
Yes, and also I stayed at the same hotel with Enescu, the great Romanian composer,
yes.
and I used to see him in New York way back in the early 30s, middle 30s. But apart from that, one wants to visit every place where people live and have a culture, and this is a great pleasure for me to see the Romanians in their own homeland, and I must say that it is a very, very pleasant place. One notices very early on his visit to Romania that the air seems to be food. It is so refreshing and delightful that not only does the soul find satisfaction in breathing this air, but it seems to satisfy even the body. There is a lovely scent of flowers and water and earth and people and life in the air. The people are very warm. Even before I was here, so to say, officially, I asked the way of a young man to the Satirico Theater, and he turned out to be Andrei Sherban. He doesn't know who I am.
The young director, yes.
He doesn't know who I am, but he was very helpful. We had a nice talk. And then in the Universal bookshop, I was looking for perhaps something of mine, and a very nice man introduced himself, a Romanian, and was helpful to me in seeing the sights. Teodoro Pompei. He's an electrical engineer. Now I mentioned these because of the warmth of the people. They volunteer friendship, and this is unusual. You don't get this everywhere. I have the feeling that the people here live pleasantly, that they do have a warmth and a curiosity and an ease about them. Now, that could scarcely sum up or even begin to sum up my impressions of Romania. It will take time.
Do you intend to write anything on these, after your visits to these countries?
I have in mind writing a work which will be called Bratislava, Budapest, Belgrade, and Bucharest, because of the four Bs, yes. And these were the places on the Danube that I visited in sailing from Vienna a few days ago.
Well, you said something about looking for some of your translations in the bookshops. I must tell you, they have probably been long sold out, because as soon as something appears by you, it's sold out. Look, these are the 2 volumes of American Contemporary Theater, and this includes the Cave Dwellers. I translated your play, and that was sold out immediately.
And I like the title in your language. Please say it.
Oamenii Cavernelor.
That's a nice title.
Well, it's.
I'm glad I wrote that play.
I'm glad I translated it.
You can translate it.
Oh, it's wonderful. It has such a deep humanity in it.
The identifying characteristic of this particular play, The Cave Dwellers, and its limitation is that the characters and the tone and the style of the play is one of human warmth and friendship and a kind of pure love. And the play has been attacked by good drama critics on that account, although most of them in America liked the play very much. And with those words, I won't
I've
refer to it
seen
anymore.
your play in New York on Broadway.
Oh, you did
Yes,
see it?
when it first came out, and people were receiving it very well. I mean, it was...
Well, I thank you for seeing it.
And I loved it.
Well,
I
thank you
loved
very
it.
much.
I was with two Romanian writers who were with me at that day, and we all three enjoyed it tremendously.
Well, you're very
It's
kind.
Later, I took it back and translated it. Well, Mrs. Saroyan, tell me, you have known some of our big Romanians. I mean, Ionescu, and you said George Enescu, and maybe you could tell me a few words about...
I know the great playwright who presently resides in Paris.
Yes, Eugene Ionescu.
Eugene Ionescu, and I like his plays very much. I like his restless mind. I like his whole preoccupation with the getting the human experience truly lived. And I knew, as a fellow resident of a 57th Street New York hotel called the Great Northern Hotel, your great, wonderful composer, Ionescu, because he lived there and I lived there. And
The same hotel?
Oh yes, we lived. That hotel, being down from Carnegie Hall, had many musicians. And Ionescu was one of them, and then there were many others that stayed there. It was a kind of an address for the people who had to go to Carnegie Hall just up the street. And also I knew the novelist who wrote in English, I believe, but was nevertheless of Romanian origin, Peter Niagwe, we say.
Yes.
That's the way we pronounced it. I don't know whether that's
very good.
That's correct. He was a very good friend of mine. And mainly the feeling that one obtained about Romania in the absence of actually visiting or knowing its literature was from the Romanian Rhapsodies of Ionescu. That's where we got the feeling of the spiritual quality of this people. Of course, and they're very, very attractive compositions. Any American that you ask about Romania, he will say Ionescu. And
of course.
Yes, because that's the importance of art. That's the importance of whether it's writing or composing or painting.
It conveys to you the atmosphere of a nation.
You get a bit of the spiritual quality of a people, their variety, their change of pace, especially in the Romanian Rhapsodies of Ionescu, very attractive. Very, very attractive. It makes me very proud to know that my works have appeared here and that the books do find readers almost instantly. And I want to thank you especially for being responsible for some of that, because you've translated quite a bit of my work, and that's what does it. If nobody translates it, it won't be known.
Well, thank you very, very much, Mr. Saroyan, on my own behalf and on behalf of the Romanian public, and we do hope you come back and stay a little bit more in our country.
I would like to say that it is a very delightful experience to be both in Romania and in the beautiful city of Bucharest. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And also let me thank you for being such an attractive Romanian young lady. And I have always felt that there was some relationship between the Armenians and the Romanians. You have such a love of foliage and flowers. There's flowers everywhere.
Well, Mr. Saroyan, as you are a writer, I know it's not a thing you do. Usually a writer takes a little time to think what he has to write about something, but maybe you could tell us just a few words about your general impression of Romania. I mean, the impression you're taking back with you. I gather you are going soon. It has, you know, theater recently has developed into something very cruel, and there are very many writers, contemporary writers, who make their, base their art on cruelty and on showing what is antagonistic in the human nature, between people, instead of showing what should really make them love each other. And in this play, it's a play which I think is based on the love that should animate people for each others.
Well, thank you for those kind words and thoughts. The fact is that this is a play in which one explores those who have finished and are failures. And this character, the failure and the person who is finished, is very appealing because they have a wisdom which is more likely to be finally useful even to the young, so that they would remember that there is such a thing almost unavoidably of being finished and failing, and so it's good to have that in mind. And of course I do like these characters because they are all children, even though they're very old, they're very childlike. But let me refer for a moment to the playwrights that you spoke of and the kind of playwriting that they're doing.
Yes.
It is wild, it is frequently destructive, but it is important. It is trying for an account of this irrational world, which does have deep rationality also, and so one finds it necessary to cherish any of the work that is being done by the playwrights all over the world, not just in America and in Great Britain, but all over the world. And it's a time now of kind of revolution in thinking and in believing. Most of the youth now in the United States are disbelievers. They don't want to join the parade. They say, that's yours, we don't want it. And this is interesting. And we writers are obliged to try to understand this rather than to say, I don't like them, they're bums, they're hippies, and so forth.
Oh, no.
Because that's too easy.
No, it's too easy, and I think the whole problem of hippies, and hippies is a general term now, I mean, it doesn't really mean only the hippies as such, is, I think, more complicated than people really think it is. I think the youth has a yearning to find something to believe in.
Very definitely. Yes, this is the responsibility that we all have is, first of all, to be much more patient and tolerant. Most of the presidents of the universities, the very universities that are being attacked, are sympathetic. The other thing is that not yet have we measured what has happened, not yet are we identifying it because it's too soon. But there is an underground, disorganized, definite transformation or revolution taking place in the human spirit and the human character. What are the values? They're trying to find the real values.
Yes, that's true.
According to their own hearts and minds.
You said that these writers, I mean, like Pinter, for example, or Albee, they are important. Well, they are important because they also show part of this general trend, I think.
And they also show...
They show the other side of it. But
they also reveal aspects of the human soul, which is our problem. You see, the human soul is infinite. It is immeasurable. It goes on and on and on. All the variations are still part of it, and not one is the totality. And so this is very pleasant. These are nice people.
The cave dwellers, you mean? They are nice people.
Nobody likes them because they're so nice. But if they were monstrous people, it would be more fashionable. If they were killers or potentially assassins or destructive people or haters, in our time, they would be more attractive to the contemporary spirit in relation to the arts. I am severely criticized in America, and some of it is justified. They have a right to criticize me for the tone of friendship and warmth in my work. That is its tone, but many people feel that that's not what writer should have.
I'm sorry, just a minute, we have to change that. Reluăm direct pe el, dar vedeți cum filmați ca să poată relua, că să trebuie tăiat. A reluat pe mine. Eu nu mai pun întrebare, să știi. Gata, merge deja? Oh, good. Well.
I am to... I would like to say about this play, The Cave Dwellers, that its main identifying characteristic is that the tone of the play is one of warmth and friendship, and of course it is criticized on that account. But I am satisfied. It is always just a little bit awkward for a writer to speak only of his own writing, but I will pass over this quickly. Well, I'm glad that you did translate it, because let me put it this way. In Romanian, perhaps it'll be better.
Oh, no. It can't be better. But I'll try at least. I tried at least to make it sound as good as it is in English.
Thank you.
Mr. Saroyan, could you tell me a few words about the contemporary trends in your literature? I mean, about the young ones, the young writers of America. They are, of course, I mean, it's a little bit general, but the young ones who form the present generation and who are very important. I mean, I don't know, Salinger and Saul Bellow and all these writers.
Well, all of these writers are excellent writers. Salinger is wonderful, and Bellow is wonderful, and Malamud is wonderful. Updike is a genius, and Philip Roth is wonderful. But the thing that is happening is, especially in the theater, a group activity, something like the Flower Children of San Francisco, something like the Hippies, as a community activity in the achievement of a folk drama like Hair, don't you see?
Yes.
That is not an act of writing, that is an act of living, and that's what they want it to be. Now, these are good things. They are group things. The activity of the writer, even for the theater, is first alone, and then it goes to the group. But now in London in 1960, I went out to Stratford East. Joan Littlewood invited me, and I made a play up right there. Now that is more like the achievement of Hair. In other words, you find out who are the people that will perform. And then, where are we? We're in East London. We're where the poor people are. So we make a play out of that. And the play was called Sam, the Highest Jumper of Them All. This is a kind of a parable of poor people who are yet amusing, funny, intelligent, and overambitious. He wants to jump higher than anybody, and but that's only the allegorical meaning. He wants to be more than anybody. That was published by Faber and Faber over there, and is one of my favorite plays, because 16 critics of London came to that play, and all 16 critics hated that play, but I loved the play. So I don't care what they think about it.
Well, and what are you working on now?
I just finished revising 3 new plays which will come out in America on July the 1st.
Or longer?
They're full plays, 3 full plays. It's called The Dogs, or The Paris Comedy, and 2 other plays. And the dogs in the classical sense, like the frogs of... that is the latest book. But the previous book is my favorite lately, is called Letters from 74 Rue Taitbout, or Don't Go, But If You Must, Say Hello to Everybody. That's 31 letters. Well, all finished?
Abdul?
Well, the idea is that in connection with what's happening in the United States theater today is, rather than playwriting being an act of the library, of the pen and ink, it's a social act. It's an act of living, and so you get another order of drama, and it's very effective. And my only awareness of this procedure was once in London, as I said, at Stratford East, and once at the University of Purdue in Indiana, when I did 3 plays on the theme of the black man in the Midwest. And that was called Life Along the Wabash. One play was a straight poetic play, the second play was a farce, and the third was a tragedy. We only had time, because you see all this had to be done quickly, we only had time to do 2 of them. The tragedy, many people want to do it, but I am holding it off for the time being.
And when are you going to have your production of the 3 plays? I mean, do you have anything scheduled?
We may do on Broadway either this season or the next season, all 3 of them, by some good people, including some good black people, because they do concern black people.
And your new plays, I mean, the ones you're writing
now.
These
new plays, The Dogs had a premiere in Vienna in 1960. It was written in Paris in 1959, 10 years ago. The following year, there was a world premiere of it in one of the big theaters, and I went down there for it in Vienna in the German language. That's odd, but that's how sometimes things work in the theater. Now, there has been a great deal of interest in that play for Broadway, but you see...
What is the theme of the play?
The theme of the play is the unaccountable delight that the human being takes, in spite of everything, in the experience of being somebody is somewhere. And also there are three generations of dogs who are like a Greek chorus who comment. These are, you know, the French poodle is practically a person. He's not really a dog. And so I've got these three French poodles, which will be performed by small people.
By small people
who will take on the aspect, and they will make these remarks, and they sort of comment on it. But the answer is, it's so difficult. It's almost impossible to explain the quality of a play like that.
Yes.
I just hint at it.
Yes. Just a minute. 1 minute. Hi, sir. Yes.